Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into one of my favorite things that I've really been trying to make more use of recently, and that's going to be using AI to automatically curate unique content for personal profiles. And more specifically, in this instance, we're going to be looking at doing it for LinkedIn, and even more specifically, we want to look at sharing content that we're posting on our business page and then making our own unique response using AI on our personal page, right? One of the more common things that we always try to do is we try to post as much as we can on our business profile, but then we neglect our own personal account. And so one of the easier ways we could do this is to then create an AI that's trained on how you want to speak and then have it start to share your content from your business page over to your personal profile. So let me just show you it really quick here to get you a quick visual of the whole system. All right, so we have an article here or a post that was put on our business page. And here's the personal profile. And if we come over here to posts, we go to all posts, and then you have some normal content, but then you also have an instance of, hey, look, piece of content up here. And then we also shared that exact piece of content. So that's exactly what we're going to put together. And so here's the basic system that we'd be using to build it. And one of them here is we're looking at the business page. So the LinkedIn page saying, hey, when a new post is made, fire this workflow. And that says, if you click on this, it says on demand, right? We have all these different options, but we went on demand. So we're going to be watching for posts that come from the business page. We're then going to use these three specific to our LinkedIn profile. So we want to use this first one to make an API call to get information from LinkedIn around the profile that we have. So we've already connected our LinkedIn account and we want to then capture or get our profile data so we can then use that and then re-push data back into it. And then we want to use OpenAI. As stated briefly before, we're going to use AI to create the messaging that we're going to then put on our content. So that way we have our own unique input or structure and tonality that we want to be presenting about ourselves or the content itself, right? So it'll help to ensure that when it puts a response, it's relevant to the actual topic at hand. And then finally, we need to go through, we want to use a final API call where we are going to post this content while sharing the company post, right? And so that's what this one is going to do. So what we can go through and do is I'm going to run this once. I'm going to show you an example. We're going to hit choose where to start. And we're going to hit OK. So we're going to run this. Let it run all through. Boom, success all the way. And we can simply come here, reload this page. And when it loads, voila, boom. Now we have an example and it's diving into this. It's diving into the topic here. Someone clicks, boom, they can come right to this page as well. And it just adds on to your web. Again, this something like this is so important. Imagine you had 10 different employees on your team. Every time your business posted a new piece of content, they went and curated your own unique version of it. This is amazingly scalable for your solutions or your business, and you're just trying to get more visibility, credibility, and eyeballs on your brand. All right, anyways, let's go through and make this one ourselves. So we're gonna come all the way back, go to scenarios, create new scenario. One quick thing, I'm going to save these files. If you open this up, you'll be able to hit import blueprint. So when you are watching this, you can A, follow along, or B, you can just come over here, hit import blueprint, and probably have this done for you in half the time. Completely free. It'll be available down below the video. Probably share it to like a Google Drive or a Notion document. So make sure it's easily accessible for you. Anyways, we're going to get ourselves started. We're going to go to our first block here, click on LinkedIn, and we're going to watch for organization posts. If you've not connected to it before, it's going to require that you connect. Once you've done that, go through the drop down Make sure your limit is only one post. If we have more than one, then you're sending too much data. You only want to share one post at a time so that the data is going through succinctly. All right, next, we're going to do one of the two fun things here, which is called API call. Again, we're wanting a GET API call. And then you don't have to do anything else here besides this. We're going to do /v2/ME. So what this is basically doing is you're pulling, using LinkedIn APIs. How would I say this? Basic calling numbers or calling variables here in the URL, where we're taking the version and then we're calling and requesting yourself, so me. And so the rest of this in here is fine. We don't need to do anything. When we run this, what it's really going to just do and what we're looking for here is this. So we have our input where we put in, hey, send me, the data on me. Here's the output. So that's the bundled output. We're going to go to body, and then you see underneath my last name, you see ID. And the ID is super important because this is how we're going to be able to push the post content into it in the future. And so what I'll actually do is I'm going to do the LinkedIn one real quick. We're going to create user text post. And since we're on this topic, we're going to do this one. This is where we're going to be posting. Oh, my bad. I did not need to do this. Yeah, wrong one. Come here, LinkedIn, all the way down to the bottom. We're going to make a second API call, right? We're going to do the OpenAI here in a moment, but I want to show you this one first. So we're going to do /REST posts, right? So we are using a REST API and we are posting it to LinkedIn. We're going to change the method to post. Just think of it post and post. We're posting information out into the ether. We're going to scroll all the way down here to body, and I'm going to copy and paste this over for you. I'm also going to do the same thing for you guys in the description down below. You'll have access to this information. But what we're basically doing here, and you see why these are all filled in black, is it's calling from the version that I showed you. So what we have to do is these are just variables that Make has seen. As you see here, these are all highlighted, and then right next to them in gray is the data that is associated with it. So what we're looking for here is the author. The author for this one is myself. So we're going to come down to ID, right? So we're looking for that person's ID. Again, this will be available for you. Looks roughly the same. It'll just be a different character combination. We can't fill this one in yet, so we'll come back to it. Then we're going to come all the way down here to parent. So it says reshare context. This is actually what allows you to share the business's business pages information. So it's really important that we make sure that this is properly tied. So we're going to remove the previous one. And if you want, just so I'm going to save this. And I want to run this module only, just so you can see the data that we're wanting to put in there. Come back over to this, scroll all the way down, and post ID. This is what we want. So parent is going to the post ID. So once you find the post ID under Watch Organizations Post, simply select this. We're going to hit OK. All right, so all three of these are done. What we need to do now is actually implement the OpenAI. So we're going to go here. If you don't have it here available, you just literally search. You just search OpenAI, boom, and we want to create a completion. We can just plop it on between these two. We can hit the little magic wand there to make it all nice and clean. And again, we're going to go in, we're going to get a unique outputs. And so to take a little bit more time here so you have some quality understanding is we're going to have to call a model. If you haven't created an OpenAI account, go to their website. I'll make sure it's linked below. And you're going to go there, get your API connected into this. And I would recommend maybe just using the most recent model. ChatGPT 4o is very cheap, very cost effective. And I think it's going to be a solid solution for what you want to do in this instance. If you're looking at this 4 years from now, 5 years from now, it might be like version 50, 5-0, right? Or something, right? Maybe they'll use a different letter of the alphabet. But yeah, so we're good. So let's jump to max tokens. You can just put this to 0. I mean, actually, if we do want to do an exact copy of my other one, we had 350 is what we set that up with. But what's more important here is the section under messages. And if you look at this, you have role, and we have 3 different examples or pieces for us to choose from. System is what we're going to use in the starting point for almost all of our calls when we are communicating with the AI, or we're messaging the AI. And what we're going to use the system section for and message context is to tell it to take on a role or its core task, like what it should be associated with. So what we're doing, because we're creating written content in this instance, we're going to say the following: you are a helpful and intelligent writing assistant, or a helpful and intelligent social media writing assistant. And all you're doing is you're just giving it some context, you're giving it some background and understanding of what it's doing and how it should be associated when reading and processing the rest of the information we're going to be giving it. So you are a helpful and assistant. Let's make sure I spelled it right. Yep, looks good. Yep. I honestly, sometimes it's impressive how bad my spelling is. So I got to make sure it's good. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put in a bunch of user inputs. And so we had system, we have role, we have user input. So we're going to be putting in a bunch of examples of what the user would be putting in from this. Now, technically, you can also do this as a assistant, so that way you're getting the assistant's output of these. But we want to give it user inputted data of saying, hey, here's a bunch of examples, and then our very final one is going to be calling, hey, now take all of these examples I provided you, look at this information, curate a unique output that feels as organic as what I've put in here, right? Now, I'm going to capture and copy a couple examples, and that way we can get this going. I don't want, but I want to make this pretty quick and simple for you. So we're going to do this about 4 times. And what I want us to go through and do is curate a few different variations here. So one example that you might think of that someone's going to put in when they're simply sharing a piece of content is the following. If you have a moment, highly recommend listening to this episode. It is an absolute gold mine, right? It's just like a nice little short nugget, diving into the topic, but not trying to be too insane, right? Let's see here. And then, let's take over another one. Another fantastic episode is definitely worth a listen, right? Just providing some pizzazz and detail here. Let me just try to whip up one for us. We'll see how bad I am at thinking off the cuff here for the time being. Been a long day. As AI has been changing the game in the way that we manage with our traffic on instead of to hire and team of people have to be available at all hours of the day. We are now able AI to that understands aspect of our product, our niche, and the needs of our customer, allowing us to get better performance without I am now in the way. Better performance at a lower cost, increasing efficiency and profitability. Boom. Long-winded. This is like someone pulling out an insight out of an article that they've read and then sharing it, right? So this is a good example of something that we might want to go into and use. But what we want to do now is, okay, I've given us a long-winded version. I've given us some super short examples. And now we're going to go through and provide the final one where it's like, hey, now that I've given you some basic context, go through and curate the final output. All right, so what we want to do is our messaging here is again going to give it a specific function or focus. So write a LinkedIn post in with the content below. Yeah. How would I want to say that? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're going to say this. So write a LinkedIn post in agreement or favor of the provided within below. There we go. I'm going to fix this because I just got a new keyboard and I keep screwing up my typing with this thing. Okay, move. All right, so we have the basic intro. We're telling it to do something, specifically what we want it to do. We're now going to then go keep your response under 350 characters and use the tone of voice of, we could just do that, Spartan, casual, confident, no emojis. Then we're going to finally put in, this is just a little thing. So if you end up sharing something that happens to have a quote in it, we want to make sure that it doesn't take those double quotes, because if you have double quotes and it's a code thing, it's actually just going to process the data that's within inside of the quotes and then nothing else is sent. So we want to have it transfer or change anytime there's double quotes into a single quote. And you'll see this in just a sec. So replace all with if in, we'll just say in output. All right, so write a LinkedIn post in agreement or in favor of the information provided within the post below. We're here between the two pieces. We're then going to then search for that post. So we're going back to watch organizational posts. We're going to go down to content and commentary. We want both of these just because one is going to be able to have access or a link to the content itself, and then the other one's going to actually have the information that's within the post, as you see here. Boom. So what we want to use that for is it'll sort of come as this. It'll process this. It's then going to process this information. It's then going to use this set of context to ensure that it doesn't go over this length and isn't within these key types of tones. And then in the event that there is parentheses, or I should say quotations, it removes those. So we've now at this point successfully, I'm going to move myself over here, successfully put everything together. The only thing that we need to play with now is this. We need to come back here. Actually, we're going to run this module only. We're going to do example. Boom. Let it run. Fantastic. We just needed to let it run once so that way we have something here. And so we're going to replace the black element here. We're going to go scroll to, well, we actually, it's at the very top here. So we're going to look for OpenAI. We're then going to go to choices, message, content. So here we go. So then again, just to make sure you understand, we're going to have author. Now it's taking your unique ID, adding it with person, updating the commentary with your unique messaging that we just put together. And then we're sharing the post ID from the business's page. So we're going to save this, and then we're going to give this puppy a whirl, huh? So we're going to go choose where to start. We want to choose manually. Take that piece of post. And we're going to run once. Everything goes well. It's supposed. Look at that. And we are successful. So let's go take a gander at the content we just put together. We're going to reload. And where are we? Boom. There we go. Absolutely agree with this perspective. Customer service, blah, 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 blah. Boom. Look at this. Like it's providing high quality responses. We can even tell to like get rid of the, if we wanted, we could have it go through and get rid of these so it seems less fluffy. Well, I think that'd probably be a great thing to do actually to keep it relevant, as most people that are sharing aren't always going to add hashtags. So we could actually adjust that in here and just actually, nope, we adjust it here. Come all the way down here and no emojis or hashtags. Boom. And then in our future output, we would be able to remove all of that. I can just run it again so you can see what I'm referring to, just so you know it worked, just so I know it works as well, right? Got to make sure, right? Put your money where your mouth is. We're going to run one more time. Boom, it's posted. Let's delete this one. I was just providing this one as an example. Boom, reload. And boom, there we go. Look at that. Even better. Look at that. That's much more unique, much more authentic. And you can do this, and it costs pennies for us to get this stuff out there. So if you're looking to really get more out of your social media content, I highly recommend trying this out. This way you can focus on one place, as in your business's page, and then everything else is just going to be automatically put out and shared across the ether. All right, I hope this helps. Again, I'm going to put everything down below for you so you can just access this. Have any questions, drop them down below. In the meantime, see you in the next video. Talk to you later.